2, 1. Hello and welcome to Cabin Fever Radio Novela. Season number 3, where an isolated group of talented actors and creators come together to stave off their madness and yours and keep us all entertained through dramatic readings of your favorite movies and TV shows, along with original material. This episode is sponsored by Vengeance Turns, an original Cabin Fever radio show and podcast. We'll hear more about them later in the show. I am your host for the evening, Mr. David Rano, and in this season, we are focusing on feature-length films. And joining us for the reading is Kelsey Jaffer, Braxton Ray, Steven Cicerone, Jess B., Marissa Martin, Rob Fury, and David Ross. The story is called GOODFELLAS, written by Nicholas Pileggi and Martin Scorsese. This is part 3 of 4. And before we get started, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Cabin Fever Radio on all social medias. The links will be in the description, as well as the links to our cast members as well. So you can stay up to date with our various shows, especially our original radio novella, Vengeance Turns. The 4th chapter is available today on Spotify and other podcast platforms. So, if everybody is ready to go, where did we leave off? We left off with Henry going to jail. And now, what does he do in jail?
Well, I was there, so I'll tell you. So, we're now in the Lewisburg Federal Prison, and we see garlic. It's being sliced.
So dinner was always a big thing. They had a pasta course and then a meat or maybe a fish. Paulie did all the prep work. He was doing a year for contempt and had a system for doing the garlic. He would use a razor blade and he would cut it so thin that the pieces of garlic would just liquefy in the pan. Tiny bit of oil.
And then we look at this pot it's full of tomato sauce and meatballs being stirred.
Paulie was in charge of the tomato sauce. I felt he put in too many onions, but it was a good sauce anyway.
And now we see these steaks smoking.
Johnny Dio did the meat. We didn't have a broiler, so Johnny did everything in pans. He smelled up the joint something awful, and even the hacks used to just die.
And now we're looking at this hot plate that's hooked up by a long extension cord to an electrical outlet in the toilet. You can't make this stuff up. There are huge kitchen knives. There's a block of ice in an ice pail covered with a cloth, and there's large pots and colanders and everything ready to cook these pasta dishes. As we look back at the room, it's a large dorm style with 4 beds, and they're separated by shoulder height partitions. The room does not look like a prison. There are curtains over the bars. The room is filled with smoke from the steak, though.
So everybody else in the joint was doing real time, but we were all mixed together. We were living like pigs.
And now we see Henry in his gray prison wear carrying a heavy canvas mail sack marked with the prison's name. He dumps the sack in one of the beds.
Yeah, but we lived alone. We owned the joint. Even those hacks who we couldn't bribe would never rat on the guy, or even the hacks that we couldn't bribe would never rat on the guys that we could bribe.
All right. And then we go back to see Henry.
That's a mouthful. That's a tough one. It was set up all weird, but I think we got there.
We did. So we go back and we see Henry, and he opens up the sack that's on the bed, and it's just filled with bottles of like wine and scotch and brandy. And he just is like, yeah, I got this.
Nico, good.
Okay. What else?
Oh, and he's not done. So he reaches back into the sack and he pulls out like cheeses, dried sausages, a jar of like vinegar peppers and dried mushrooms too.
Now we eat.
And Henry sets the table. And then we're going to see these mob bosses, and they're just playing cards, and they're sipping their wine, their scotch, their brandy, their drinks of choice. Henry, he's sitting on his bed with his back to the group. And when he sees that no one's watching him, he pulls out a black plastic garbage bag out of the sack. He opens the bag and quickly counts the clear plastic bags of marijuana, envelopes of heroin, and bottles of pills. He quickly repacks the drugs and slips them under his covers. And now we're going to look at the entrance to the prison. It's visiting day. So Henry is in the guard's booth watching the visitor's gate through the window. There's a knock on the door. The guard opens the door and looks at Henry. Henry nods. The guard lets the inmate enter. While the guard watches, the inmate gives Henry some cash, and Henry gives him one of those plastic bags of weed and a bottle of pills. Then the inmate is escorted out by the guard.
Are there any more?
No, that's it for today.
And then Henry shoves a couple of bills into the guard's shirt. And again, it's visiting day, and Karen's here. So she's in the visitor's gate. She's wearing a large, oversized coat that makes her look huge. Okay, she's carrying a large purse and some empty shopping bags. The guards see her and immediately help her get through the metal detection device and past the table where the other people are emptying the contents of their bags. At the registration desk, we see Karen sign the visitor's book. As we all look at the book, we see that Karen sees the name of Henry's other visitors. And these other visitors are Linda Rossi and Hill, Henry. And back in the visiting room, we see this large room with all of the tables and the plastic chairs and things like that. We see the prisoners and their wives, children's friends, things like that, eating, talking, crying. And we see the guards being bored as to what's happening. And then we see the table where Henry and Karen are talking.
You son of a bitch. She's been here.
What are you talking about?
Don't lie to me. I saw her name in the register.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You want her to visit you? Good. Let her stay up all night crying and writing letters to the parole board.
What am I doing? I'm in here. Okay? Well, I can't stop people coming to see me.
Then we see Karen open her coat, revealing the large insides. And she's got some salamis in there. She's got wine, cigarettes, cartons of any and everything.
You want her? Good. Let her sneak this stuff in for you.
She slams down that salami with a thud, and now everybody's turned around and seeing what is going on.
Let her fight with these creep bastards every week to make life easier for you.
And then she slams down the cigarettes and the wine. And this time we see the guards turn around and look at what's happening. Then the guard turns its head away.
Stop. Stop.
Let her carry this shit inside.
And then she's waving a bag just filled with marijuana and some pills. So Henry grabs it out of Karen's hand, and then he grabs her, and we see him hug her, and we see her drop her arms and hug him.
Nobody's helping me. Tommy got 4 years. Marty and Fran are broke. I asked your friend Remo for the money he owed you, and you know what he told me?
It'll be okay.
He told me to take the kids to the police station and make the cops put me on welfare.
Henry takes the drugs.
Look, we gotta help each other out, okay?
Even Paulie, since he got out, I hardly see him.
It's only you and me. That's what happens when you go away. We're on our own. Forget everybody. Forget Paulie. As long as he's on parole, he doesn't want anybody doing anything.
I can't do it anymore.
Yes, you can. I've got it all set up. We'll be fine. All I need is for you to keep bringing in the stuff. I got a guy in here from Pittsburgh who'll move it for me. Believe me, in a month we'll be fine. We don't need anybody.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid if Paulie finds out.
Don't worry about Paulie. Is he helping you? Is he putting food on the table? We've got to help ourselves. We got to be careful how we do it.
I don't want to hear about her anymore.
Never.
All right. And with that, 4 years go by. 4 years later, back at the prison gate, we see Henry come out in regular clothing. We see his face drop because he sees his beat up old car and Karen is behind the wheel. Henry gets in. Now, in Karen's apartment, we see that these last 4 years have not been easy. It's looking a little bit sparse, and it be that way sometimes. We see their daughters watching Henry as he looks around the house. And then he finally says,
All right, get packed. We're getting out of here.
What?
Don't worry about what. You start looking for a new place. I'm going to Pittsburgh in the morning. The guys from Pittsburgh, they owe me 15 grand from our little partnership, and that's only the beginning.
But you've got to see your parole officer in the afternoon, and I promised we'd take Judah to FAO Schwartz.
Don't worry about it. Are you listening to me? Now, come on. We got to go see Paulie.
and now we're at Polly's house, and we see all of this food coming out of the kitchen, being piled onto the table. And in the back of Polly's house, we see Polly and Henry walking towards the dock.
I don't want any more of that shit.
What, me?
Just stay away from that garbage. You know what I mean.
Why would I get into that shit?
I know what you did inside. You did what you had to do. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking from now on outside. I'm talking from now on outside. I'm talking right here.
Why would I get into that?
Don't make me a fool. You know what I mean. From now on, you gotta be careful. Just don't mess around with that shit. And watch out for Jimmy. Jimmy's a good earner, but he's sometimes too hungry. He's wild. He does foolish things. Jimmy is not a businessman. As good as she is, she takes too many chances.
I know that. Okay, I know Jimmy. You think I'd take a chance with Jimmy?
And that Tommy, he's a good kid, but he's crazy. He's a cowboy. He's got too much to prove. You got to watch out for kids like that.
Paulie, I know. I know what they are, but I use them for certain things. Please, believe me, you don't have to worry.
I'm not going to get fucked like Gribbs. He's 70 years old and the fucking guy is going to die in prison. I don't need that. I don't care who it is. I'm warning everybody. Gribbs got 20 years just because he said hello to some fuck who was sneaking around selling junk behind his back. That's not going to happen to me. You understand?
Paulie, why would I? Come on, I swear.
You were only home early because we got you a job, right? And I don't need any heat. You understand? And if you hear about anybody else fucking around with that shit, you tell me. Anybody.
Paulie, I understand. Oh, sorry.
You better understand, motherfucker.
I get Paulie. I get it.
Okay, and with that, we're now at Robin's basement apartment. And we see Robin mixing Coke in metal bowls. We see Henry standing behind her. Robin is there. And yeah, so the apartment is a jumbled mess. And even the table where they're standing and cutting drugs up is littered with old coffee cups and newspapers and dirty dishes.
It took about a week or so of sneaking around before I could unload the Pittsburgh stuff without Paulie finding out. But when I did, it was a real score. I started using Robin's place to mix the stuff, and even with Robin snorting more than half, I could see that this was going to be a good business. I made $12,000 in my second week, and I had a down payment on my new house. All I had to do was every once in a while tell Robin, that I loved her.
Mm-hmm. And now we're in the parole office where we see this piece of paper with different calculations written on it.
Right, so it was perfect. As long as I kept getting the new stuff from Pittsburgh, I knew Paulie would never find out. But within a couple of weeks, it got to be so big, I needed some help. So I got Jimmy and Tommy to come in with me. Oh, and then there's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25.
And we see Henry open a shoebox he has.
That was money.
Weird. Yeah,
That was
I
money.
didn't
I
know.
was, in case it was money, a lot of it.
Yeah, did not know how to help you there. My bad. So we see Henry opening the shoebox that he has hidden in a grocery bag. And Jimmy and Tommy lean in close to Henry in order to see what's inside.
Did I tell you?
We open the
Nice.
shoebox and we see the money. We see Henry's thumb run through the tightly stacked 20s like piano keys. Then we see the parole officer and his tired old business suit come into the door. And we see Henry, Jimmy, and Tommy in the parole office counting their drug profits.
Jimmy? Still working?
And now we're in Henry's new house.
And right before we enter the house, we're going to do a quick little ad break. This episode is sponsored by Vengeance Turns. An original radio show and podcast entitled Vengeance Turns takes place in 1876 California. A young woman loses everything, including her beloved husband, son, and daughter, in a violent attack that leaves her for dead, and with a lust for bloody vengeance that turns her into a murderous vigilante. The fourth chapter, Bloody Gold, in its fully produced form that includes special sound effects and an original score, is premiering today. And you can listen to Vengeance Turns on all major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Get the direct link to the fourth chapter in the description below, or simply visit vengeanceturns.com. That is vengeanceturns.com. What are you waiting for? Go check it out after the show and let us know what you think. And if you enjoy, share. Remember, that is vengeanceturns.com. And now we're back at the new house.
Henry's new house. So we see Marty Krugman and his wife, Fran, there. They're being taken on a tour of the house.
This we had to have made special. I mean, sit in it. Go ahead, sit. The others you couldn't even sit in. And from here, watch the wall.
We see Karen flick a switch on the table next to the sofa, and the wall slides back, revealing the TV and the stereos.
See, it opens. We had the electricians fix it up special. This we imported. It came in 2 pieces.
And
It's a fait accompli.
Done.
And Jimmy's in it, right?
Will you stop?
But don't you understand? It's worth millions. It's once in a lifetime. We'll be rich. No more nut every week. I've been cultivating this thing for 2 years now.
And now let's look at Robert's lounge. And we see all of the wise guys, who are going to be a part of the robbery. They're there, obviously. We see Marty, Henry, Tommy, Jimmy. They're just watching a basketball game.
And these are the guys.
And now we see Tommy and Frankie Carbone, who are leaning their backs against the bar. Their jackets are open. Bosses of all they survey.
That was a strange sentence.
Yeah, I was like, what did I just read?
You got one too. All right, so Tommy and Carbone were gonna grab the outside guard and make him get us in the front door.
We see Frenchie, who's playing shuffleball.
Frenchie and
We see Joe Buddha sprinkling sawdust onto the shuffleboard table.
Joe Buddha had to round up the workers.
Then we also see Johnny Roast Beef, who is about 300 pounds and is sitting backwards in a chair watching the television with a drink in his hand.
And then Johnny Roast Beef had to keep them tied up and away iron alarms. Tied up and away iron alarms? That's another weird one.
Damn right, that's what you said.
We now see Marty shoving his way between Jimmy and Henry at the bar and turning the television to the basketball game.
Only Marty was driving us nuts. He was busting Jimmy's balls for an advance on the money that we were planning to steal.
And then we see Stax Edwards, who is sitting at the bar, delicately stirring his drink with his pinky.
Yeah, even Stax got in on it. He was supposed to steal the panel truck and afterwards compact it by a friend of ours who lived in New Jersey.
Okay, so now we're in Karen and Henry's bedroom, and we're looking at a baby, Lois Bird. A young, pale, blonde woman puts the baby and an overnight bag onto the bed as Henry and Karen watch.
I had everybody working, even our old babysitter.
She's beautiful. Look at her. Henry, look at her.
Hi, hello, hi. Did you have a good flight?
I hate Pittsburgh.
We see Lois unwrap the baby's pink snowsuit and take off its hood and mittens as Henry opens Lois's overnight bag and takes out some Pampers and then takes out several plastic bags with cocaine and heroin.
Where do you find such creeps?
It's okay. It's worth it. They're worth it. It's worth it, ain't it?
Is this the same one as last time?
No, that was one of my sisters. This is Deirdre's.
Look at her, Henry. Is she sweet? Doesn't she look like Lois?
That's what the stewardess said.
And then we see Henry not really paying attention, just putting the drugs in the paper bag. And now we're in Robin's house. And we see Henry making a Coke ball. And we see a line of Coke shoved under Henry's nostril. We see Henry snort this Coke while never stopping making the Coke balls at the same time. Then we see Robin beside him also take some of the Coke. And we see Robin take 2 more lines of said Coke.
Hey, watch out.
And then we see Robin lick her fingers and then run her finger across Henry's tongue. He licks, but he does not react as he takes several golf ball sized Coke balls out of the machine and puts them in a leather pouch and gets up to leave.
Stay there.
Oh, don't start. I told you to clean up. Look at this place. It's a pig pen. Look around here. Why do you think I bought you that dishwasher? Look at this. That's enough powder around here to put us all away.
I hate to do dishes.
Oh, come on, I gotta meet somebody.
So do I.
And then we see Henry look at his watch. And now we're in Robin's shower. And Henry is listening to the radio while showering.
And nobody knows for sure just how much was taken in the jury drones raid at the Lufthansa cargo terminal at Kennedy Airport. The FBI say $2 million. Port Authority police say $4 million. The city cops say 5. How much maximum? That they won't say. So far, Lufthansa has not said anything, but they've promised to break their silence soon with a press conference. And WINS will be there to cover it live from the scene of the heist at JFK when they do. It looks like a big one. Maybe the biggest this town has ever seen.
Henry slams the soap onto the shower floor and then pounds the wall with joy.
Are you okay? What happened?
Nothing. I dropped the soap. That's it. That's all.
Well, back in Robert's lounge, there's a little Christmas party going on. And as they arrive, Henry and Karen, they're hugged by Jimmy in the doorway. It's the Lufthansa victory party. And no one even mentions the robbery.
Hey, come here. Look at this genius.
Jimmy keeps his arms around Henry and Karen as Johnny Roast Beef shows up with his new wife, Dolores, who is also just right by his side, and they are beaming with pride.
Come outside. I gotta show you. Just for a minute.
And then we see outside this new pink Caddy convertible with the sticker still in the window.
Is that beautiful or what? I got it for Dolores.
You fucking nuts? Didn't I say not to go buy anything for a while? You got a fucking car?
Don't get excited. It's okay. My mother bought it for us. It's a wedding present. It's in her name.
You're crazy. The Bulls are across the street. They're watching everything we do.
And then we see the cops in front of Robert's lounge. And we see Jimmy watching as Roast Beef walks into the bar.
Fat fuck ought to wear a sign.
We see Frankie Carbone walk in the door, and we see that his wife is wearing a $30,000 coat.
Jesus Christ, are you all fucking nuts?
What's the matter with him?
Before anyone answers, we see Jimmy start to grab the coat off of Miss Frankie's back.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Frankie, she's taking my coat, Frankie.
Meanwhile, we see Jimmy grabbing this coat off of poor Mrs. Carbone's back and begin to roll it up and shove it under Carbone's arm.
Didn't I tell you not to get anything big? Didn't I tell you not to attract attention? In 2 days, one fuck buys a caddy and another buys a $10,000 mink. Can you believe this shit? Now get the fuck home and get rid of the coat. Bring it back to where you got it. I don't care what you do, just get rid of it.
I'm not giving it back, Frankie. Did you hear me, Frankie?
Did I tell you to shut up? Just shut up.
Fucking guys, can you believe them? I told them all, don't attract attention. Act normal.
And at the bar, we see Stax and his girlfriend dropping shot glasses of green creme de menthe into large glasses of chilled alcohol that goes with it. Tommy and his girl for the night are standing with Stax and his girlfriend. Tommy is wearing a shiny silk suit that practically glows with newness. And we see Frenchie and Buddha with their wives as well. Everyone is dressed to the T in new clothes and flashy jewelry. Then we see Jimmy and Henry move toward a quiet part of the bar, and we see Marty burst in on them.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking all over for you two. Listen, I need it. I need it, Jimmy. I need it all.
Jimmy walks away.
Look, Marty, relax. You saw some money.
But I need it all. I owe people too, you know.
Jimmy walks toward an office in the back of the bar.
Jimmy, wait, listen, please.
Marty is about to follow Jimmy, but Henry stops him.
I want to talk to Jimmy.
Yes, she heard.
But I got $250 coming. It's my share. Jimmy owes me.
Marty, please, let me talk to her.
Now we're in the back room with Jimmy and Henry. We see Jimmy take a thick stack of bills from inside her jacket pocket and press them to Henry's chest.
Christmas, your share. That's just a taste.
Jimmy.
We did it.
We hear a knock.
Fucking did it.
We hear a knock at the door.
Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
yeah, I'll be right there.
And now, in Henry's house, we see this beautiful, huge Christmas tree and that Henry's coming in with. And then says,
Hey, look. Look what I got. The most expensive tree that they had.
and then we see the tree, and it's a beautiful tree. It's like this huge white tree. It's set up with all these purple ornaments on it. Like, it's a sight. I have to say, it was a sight to see. We see Karen and the children really like excited when they see all the presents under the tree. And we see Karen kissing Henry, who then slips a thick packet of bills into her pocket. And then he says,
"Go buy yourself a coat."
And Karen is excited about that too.
Lufthansa should have been our ultimate score, the heist of a lifetime. It was $6 million in cash, more than enough to go around.
And now we're in Stax's apartment, and Stax is in bed, and he hears a loud knocking out the door.
Hey, Stax! Come on, open up! Open the door! Wake up! Wake up!
And it's Tommy and Frankie standing in the hallway.
Come on! Come on! We got some coffee?
You got coffee?
Stax opens the door. Fucks! You said you had coffee.
Put on a pot.
Ball busting sons of bitches. Then we cut to Stax putting on his shoes, and then we hear water in the sink. But Tommy pulls out a gun with a silencer from behind his belt.
Stax was always crazy. Instead of getting rid of the truck like he was supposed to, he got stoned and went to his girlfriend's house. And by the time he woke up, the cops had found the truck. It was all over the televisions. They even said they came up with the prints off of the wheel. It was just a matter of time before they got to Stax.
Then bang, bang, bang. Tommy fires 3 silent shots into the back of Stax's head.
Short-lived part for you, huh?
You know, it'd be that way sometimes.
Tell you what, though, you nailed that.
I was so excited too.
Yay! Oh, I'm dead.
And you never got the coffee too. What happened?
Exactly, like just some coffee and like we're chilling out.
Well, you're already tired, so you might as well go right
you
back.
know how Tommy is, shady motherfucker, huh?
Well,
doesn't even give you a cup of that coffee.
Hey, Stats, maybe if you fucking did your job, right? If you fucking did your job, you wouldn't have 3 fucking holes out of your head where you could breathe from.
Okay, Stax we all need love. Okay, in defense of love, we all need love. And that's what Stax needed that night. He ain't need to get rid of the trucks. He needed some love. And you know what?
Well, you
he
know
got
what,
that love that night. Okay.
Oh, well, you know what, Stacks?
I
gave you a whole lot of love right now, Stacks. You gotta understand this, all right? I gave you a whole lot of love with 3 bullets in your head.
Ooh.
It's a whole lot of love, gangland style, all right? Get the fuck out of here! Somebody put this guy in a fucking barrel already.
Listen,
How's he talking from the fucking grave, huh?
That's 1 bullet per word. I love you.
Did you not have enough lines during this episode?
Well.
And guess what, Tommy, you're not dead yet. Stay tuned for part 4.
Oh, wow.
Part 4. Tommy
What the fuck
dies.
are you talking about? I'm not dead yet. What the fuck you talking about? I ain't gonna fucking die. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm saying you're not. I'm just saying you're not dead. Are you dead? Do you feel dead right now? Right now, do you feel dead?
I don't fucking feel dead. But what the fuck are you talking about this yet? What the fuck is yet? Like, it's gonna fucking happen. It's like,
You're a funny guy, Tommy. You know what? You're a funny
don't
guy.
say that.
You know.
What do you mean I'm a funny guy? Eh?
No.
You know. Look,
What the fuck do you mean I'm a funny guy?
The way that you explain things.
What am I, a fucking clown? Eh? Hey, you know what? Everybody, we know what the fuck I'm gonna take care of you during the fucking Patreon post, you piece of fucking guy talking this shit over here. This fucking guy over here.
What?
Hey guys, if the Patreon post show had to take place in one of these fictional lounges or bars, which one would it be?
Tattoo. It would have to be.
Fair enough.
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo! But yes, again, to all our listeners, this one was a little bit shorter than some of the past ones because again, it went flawlessly compared to the last one.
Hey.
And we said that it would.
Yeah.
Oh,
saying.
for sure.
But again, because we're to be able to break up the story so it could translate correctly to 4 parts. So be sure to tune in next Saturday, same time, same place, 5 p.m. with all these amazing people. And be sure to follow us on all the social media links for Cabin Fever Radio that are in the description below, as well as follow all the actors that are partaking in Cabin Fever Radio. All their links are in the description as well. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining us, and just a couple little updates that are coming up for Cabin Fever Radio. We are working on a couple new shows that we will be talking more in detail in the post show, but we do want to inform you guys. We are working on an improv show, on a D&D show that's going to be amazing, and as well as a Vengeance Turns reunion show. Because all 4 parts are out now, we do want to have like a little Q&A with everybody who was involved, you know, to kind of go more in depth as far as like how the characters, how they got developed and how they got shaped to be what it is today.
That's gonna be so cool.
And then
can we be in character while we're doing that?
Of course. Of course.
No.
That's what I'm fucking.
If I remember,
That's
Jefferson
chaos.
is dead, so he doesn't have a character.
Oh!
Hey, motherfucker, if you ever heard of a goddamn fucking space ghost, you fucking watch that goddamn Star Wars. Don't
Yes.
you give me that bullshit.
Cowboy
God damn
Space
it,
Ghost.
fucking-
Yeah.
Cowboy
Space
Cowboy
Ghost.
Space Ghost. Oh, hey, if Star Wars could do that shit, okay, I still want to see a Sith come back. So
Yes.
Honestly.
Same.
bad guys could come back from the grave.
But yeah, and then and we also have a couple other projects that we're working on, and we are working on a new original radio novella. We started tinkering on a couple ideas that we want to get ready for season 4, but season 3 is not done yet. We will be doing another film after this and after some of the special shows. But you can hear that more next week or in the post show. If you want to partake in the post show, get sneak peeks of what is going to happen real soon.
And there may or may not be nipple pasties on me at the and
God.
Braxton Ray is done. He's just
Uh,
jumped
was not
Ronald
ready.
was trying to get people to come, Rob.
Damn.
If you don't stop talking about this and just be about this, I swear to
Just be
God,
about
I'm gonna
just
come-
be about
It's a lot of
yes.
talking, not a lot of delivering.
I went and followed you on Instagram.
Only on
For the nipple.
yeah. But again, only on the post show. Be sure post show.
It will only
That's-
happen on
that's
the
where
post
you do
show.
it.
We will. It will. I promise the cast and I promise our Patreon viewers that it will happen. And when it does, it's gonna be one of the
Amazing.
quintessential
Yeah.
best post shows ever because other
Yeah.
things will happen on that as well. So
Yeah.
you'll see.
Oh.
So again, just to reiterate, follow us on campfeverradio.com. That's where the main site lives, and you can see our past shows, our current shows, and what we're working on. And if you want to support us so we could continue to do this and make more shows, more elaborate and broader to the audience, go to patreon.com/cabinfeverradio with something as low as just $6, what you would pay for coffee at Starbucks. You can help
That
us
Stacks didn't get.
Every
do a lot
morning
more.
and twice in the afternoon, you weirdos. This
Yeah.
is like once a month.
Yes. So again, with just a small little contribution, you get to get more insights and exclusive content only on our Patreon page, patreon.com/cabinfeverradio. And again, follow us on cabinfeverradio.com. So we're going to switch over to the post show. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. And this has been Cabin Fever Radio signing off.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has.
We love you guys. We will see you in the post show. Goodbye.
Dear
post-
diary.